Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the second season of the Wellington Wanderers series. It is now episode number 12, and we're starting the season with the Wellington Phoenix. Although we have been looking for some jobs, I've applied for literally every single job that's come up lately, and currently we've got these jobs that might be able to get, but I don't think we'll be successful in them, and I think we will be playing this season with the Wellington Phoenix. But a lot has happened since you guys last left me, and it's actually the start of the season day today, so we're going to go straight into the first match right after I tell you guys about the changes to the side. So, we are expected to finish in the top half of the table, and we need to reach the FFA Cup semi-final, which we have managed to do. I didn't think I'd bore you guys with all of the qualifications and all that kind of stuff like I did last season, because I felt like it took a long time. But we did manage to get there, and I'll show you those matches leading up to it, well, just the Brisbane Roar match, as soon as I introduce you guys to the new team and tell you what's happened in the transfer market. Starting off with our sales, we sold Ben Wayne, David Bull, Stephen Taylor, and Oliver Sale. David Bull and Stephen Taylor were both sold just because they hold up a international player slot and also were on quite high wages. David Bull especially just wasn't making any appearances for us, so I felt like the best thing to do was sell him. And we've brought in a lot of players here. First of all, a young striker to replace Wayne was Braden Crowley, and he has done very well at the start of the season. 2 goals in the FFA Cup already, and a lot of goals in the non-competitive games. He will be an amazing second striker for us with some nice stats. Then we have gone and gotten Portela, yes. Let's go with that. Who is a solid central defender who is 3.5-star ability when I first signed him, and I'm sure he'll be able to come into the side when we need him this season. I thought he was going to be a bit better than he was, but I'll definitely take him. And probably the star of the show so far, Aidan O'Neill, an Australian central midfielder who used to play for Burnley, has come to us permanently on a free, and we're only paying him 1.2k a week, and his stats are really good, and he's playing a box-to-box midfield role in that central midfield right now. I'll show you my tactics as soon as I've finished going through all these players. We've also signed Ruthen, who is just a bit of a rotation player, but he has some really nice stats for someone that's just going to be a rotation player, and I don't think that 2-star rating really tells the whole story. Next we have Federici, who, as you guys will know, used to play in the Premier League back in the day with Stoke and Bournemouth and even Reading back in the day. So he's definitely going to be a great player for us, and I'm very happy to have him in the club, and he's just a rotation option, a replacement for Sale, and I got him for literally the smallest wage you could get, so I thought, why not? Next we've got Bruno Jordao, yeah, we'll go with that. And he is definitely the Matty Longstaff-esque replacement. Actually, we did try and get Matty Longstaff again, but he ended up going to Swansea with a big loan fee that we definitely wouldn't have been able to pay. So even if we did make an offer, we wouldn't have been able to afford him on $9,000 a week. For us, that's just ridiculous amounts of money, but he looks amazing. On only 1.5k a week, he is definitely a steal, and he takes up one of our international spots, but I could not have picked a better player to take up one of those spots. And finally, Callum McManaman, who I just signed. What a fun name to say, just by the way. I think there's maybe 50% of the reason why I signed him, McManaman, and he can play out on the left and the right, and he has played for Sunderland as well as Sheffield United and West Brom, and most recently Luton Town in the Sky Bet Championship. So we're very happy to introduce him into the side, and he has some amazing stats, and I'm sure he will have a great season for us as well. I'll just double check in the release players. Yes, we have released a few of our youth players, but no one notable. And last of all, I'll show you guys Sarpreet Singh, who we did try and get on loan again, but unfortunately he made a permanent transfer to this side in the Bundesliga too. After an amazing season with us, I would have loved to have brung him back, but it wasn't to be. I'll show you guys the tactics we're going for this season, or at least for the start of the season. We're going to play we're going to play with Hudson Wahongi at centre back. Sorry, I forgot to make these changes. And Billingsley as right back. Right now, unfortunately, we don't have Tim Payne because he's out with an injury. Matty Steinman's actually been promoted to captain for this season after the loss of our old captain Taylor. So we're very happy to have him leading us this season. I'm sure he'll do an amazing job just setting up the rest of the side, pop them all in the positions I like, just to make it look nice and satisfy my compulsive personality. There we go, that looks all good to me. Might put Walter Scott on for no Piscopo. We don't need them on the bench as well, and that's perfect. So playing with a pretty similar setup to last season, and I'm sure that it will work very well. The media haven't actually told us where they think we'll place this season, which is a bit annoying, but I would have really liked to seen how we moved up since last season. But we have got a new team in the league, and that is Macarthur FC. They are being added to the A-League next season in real life. So Football Manager has kept up with the realism there and put them in for the next season, for this season of the Hyundai A-League. And I'll just show you guys that last switch, which is the Brisbane Roar game, and that's how we did. Goals from Callum McCower and Kakachi, both of our young left-sided players, were enough to take us through to the semi-final, which is going to be against Western United, where we will hopefully go into the final for the second time in 2 years. But first, we need to play the first game of the season against Western Sydney Wanderers, a repeat of the final. Hopefully we can redeem ourselves. And hopefully this new side works well together. I'm sure it will. I've created a good group of players with a lot of differing abilities and experiences. So hopefully they can come together as one great tight-knit group of players and work well together. So we're going to go straight into the first match without any further ado. We did have a bit of a problem at one point because we were actually massively over our wage budget. So my solution for that was, of course, selling Taylor and selling Ball. So I know that a few of you guys will be upset to see them not in the side anymore, but I just had to do it. I couldn't justify their wage bill with the amount of problems that we had, so I had to get rid of them. But Hudson Wahongi and Boxall will both do great jobs, and Ball was realistically just a bench player anyway. But back to the game. Well, not back to the game, it's only just started. Straight to the game. Callum McManaman has scored his first goal for the club with an assist from Kakachi. What a way to introduce himself to the fans at home on the first day of the season. He's proved that he is going to do very well at this football club. And straight after we get the first goal, our star player, Jordell, has picked up an injury, and hopefully it's not for too long. Luckily for us, Rufer has really improved over the summer, and he's turned into a really good midfielder. And without the deal of Bruno, I was fine with playing Rufer, but I just found him on my scouting, looking for some players to get on loan, and I just couldn't say no. For 1.5k a week, we had the international spot, so I thought, may as well. And would you look at that, we're doing well against Western Sydney. I think that might have something to do with the fact that we didn't get a red card after 2 minutes. Holman, not bitter about that at all. Not like we could have won the league or anything, but that's okay. You live and you learn. Next time I won't play Holman in a grand final, that's for sure. Still don't know how he was the only player that made it into the team of the year for us, but Football Manager has a weird way of never giving the players that you think the recognition and the awards. So, not surprised. Sarpreet Singh definitely should have been Player of the Year in my opinion, but then again I didn't really watch the rest of the games. And Marinovic makes an easy save after a big run from Lucas in their side. He must be a new signing. Yeah, he doesn't look too good. He might be an old signing, but How we lost to them in the final, I will never know. Boxall, best player, we still managed to hang on to them. Don't worry about that. An offer did come through for him from Melbourne Victory, because I was thinking about getting rid of him because we're paying him so much, but as long as I can tie down a contract for him with a lot less wage, I'm definitely going to keep him around, because his contract does expire at the end of the season, I believe. As Callum McCallum has 2 great efforts, one goes off the bar and one goes straight at the keeper, but a really good chance for McCallum to score his first goal of the season, because we all know last season it did take him a wee while to get off the mark, and it wasn't good after a really good pre-season, so hopefully he can find that goal early on this season to give him some confidence and really push him forward, because right now he is about the same player that he was last season, and he hasn't progressed quite like I wanted him to, but I'm sure with the potential that he has, he'll be able to grow as a player, and right now he is starting, so only good things can come from him. The only way is up, surely, and I will tell him that I'm pleased with the performance because we are playing very well. No players playing bad so far, apart from our injured Jordao, unfortunately, but what can you do, really? And Steinman plays the ball back to Boxall. Boxall plays it up to Hooper. Hooper going through another one of his runs. Didn't even look for a new striker this year. Didn't think it would be necessary with Hooper. Playing so well last season, I'm sure he'll do the exact same this year. He stayed at a 4-star. Oh, no, he hasn't. He's just changed down to a 3.5-star. Maybe that is something to be concerned about. Maybe his physicals are declining or something, but I'm sure he'll still be able to bang in the goals for us like he did last season. He is an amazing player, and he was top of the top goal scorer odds for the season, so everyone knows that he can bang them in. As well as the fact that Jordao was top of the player of the season, and Kakachi was on top of the young player of the season. So we've got some serious contenders for awards this year. I think if the media did bring out a rankings for where they thought the teams would finish, I'm pretty sure it would be quite high up there. But as we are talking about Kakachi, I'm going to bring him off, as well as McManaman, just to make sure all the players are fresh going into the semi-final of the FFA Cup, which is the game that I will play straight after this on camera, and hopefully we can go through to the final again. As Billingsley picks up the ball and plays it to Marinovic, Hudson Mahongi and O'Neill. Steinman plays it up to Hooper. Hooper goes on a bit of a run. Surely he can get a shot on target, and he does. That's a good save by the goalkeeper. And I think we're just going to run the clock down now, because I can't see them getting back into the game at this point in time. They haven't been good enough this match. We've been far too dominant, and you could say we probably should have scored some more goals, but I'm happy with how we've played. Unless we manage to get one here against a couple of defenders. Macau, it swings around and takes a shot, but it just goes straight to the goalkeeper, and that will probably be the end of the game. As Lopa kicks it long, they get the ball, Scott plays it back upfield, and now we're just playing pinball with none of the teams really confident that they're going to score. This is just going to be the highlight running down the match until the last minute, and I'm sure we'll be able to get the win, unless Holman can do something stupendous from here, but he can't, and that is full time. A good game, a good way to win in the first game of the season. Give the boys a bit of confidence. I'll tell them that they played well, and I'll see you guys for the FFA Cup semi-final. And going into the FFA Cup semi-final, straight after that game, this is the side that we're lining up with. A pretty similar team, apart from the addition of Portilla and Fredisi. So we're going to get straight into the game and tell the boys you deserve to be in the final, and I expect them to make it happen, because I think they do deserve to be in the final for the second year in a row, especially when we've seen a bit of a rivalry with the Western United boys, so let's see if the team can play well. And straight off the bat, we are dominating possession, dominating shots, and I think it's going to be a good game for us, just based off the first 20 minutes alone. Western are really finding it difficult to come into the game, and we are all over them like a bad rash. But we need one of these players to actually break through and create a chance, because going into the 30th minute we haven't had a single one, despite our shots and despite our possession. If anyone would make a chance, it would be very nice. Here we go. Looks like it's going to be Western's chance, though. Yeah. That's what the stats suggest would have happened. Quite against the run of play, Borussia scores a goal, which puts them 1-0 up. And I'm going to tell the boys straight away at halftime that I'm not happy with them. I'm going to get aggressive, try and scare them into playing well. So I'm expecting to see a much better showing from you guys in the second half. That's not good enough. We need to play much better than that, especially against a good side like Western United. And Western haven't even played well, which is the annoying thing. I think they got all 4 out of 5 of their shots in the third, in one chance. So we really don't deserve to be behind in this match. And I'm already thinking about taking some players off that just aren't playing well enough right now. And the first of which is going to be Callum McManaman. Don't think he's playing terribly, but he's more of a fitness concern, and he's a crucial player for us. So I want to have him fully fit for the next league game, which I will be playing off camera, so I'll let you know if he does well for that. But no one seems to be doing much, and I think a change to attacking might stir up the boys. Actually, I think I'd killed a chance, because it gave the wee flash of a chance, but we do have a free kick here, which is cleared out to Borussia, who just dances with the ball. Hudson Wahongi plays it to Holman. I'm a tactical genius. I'll tell you what, I'm a tactical genius. Brett Holman gets brought on by me. A couple minutes later, he scores to equalise. Call me Pep Guardiola, that's all I'm going to say. Another change I think needs to be made, and that is going to be Ruthven. I'm going to go with that. Ruthven can come on as... I might actually drop him back to there and play him as a supportive ball-winning midfielder, and now put Steinman on a Carrillo, I think it is. Don't really use him very often, but I'm sure he can do a job in it. He's a very versatile player. And, oh no, I got so excited. I was going to say, just as Hudson Wahongi gets an assist for Holman gets an assist for Hudson Wahongi, but they were all miles offside. That was stupid. No way any of our players were onside during that chance. And I think this is probably going to go to extra time, unless we get a goal here, as they kick it straight to us, but we give it straight back to them, as Diamante comes up the field, and they play it down the line. Plays it back to Burgess, the ex-Phoenix player, of course, and they're just playing with it, trying to keep possession. Risden has the ball, great player, playing it to another one of their players, and they lose it to Kakachi, and Kakachi plays a long ball, which ends up going to Steinman. Hooper looks to put a ball in, and Holman's on the other side, and he slots it home. Holman has come on and made an instant impact. I think he might have won us the game. I'm going to go back down into a balanced approach, as Hooper makes a great assist, which ends up with Holman scoring his second of the match. And that is it. That's the game. We dominated them, and I'm going to tell them that they played very well. And we're in the FFA Cup final for the second time in a row. Very happy with that result. Let's check out who we're playing against. Unfortunately, with Brisbane City playing Sydney FC on Tuesday, we're not going to find out who we're facing in the final of the FFA Cup until then. So that will be on the next episode, but let's be realistic here. It's probably going to be Sydney FC, and if it's Brisbane City, we have really lucked out there. But thank you guys so much for watching the first episode of this season. I'm going to keep applying for the jobs all through the season. I'll let you know if we end up getting any interviews or anything like that. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.